Capricorn, March 2021. This one's for you. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, all the above. What is clear to me? Capricorn. Let's start with the yin line, okay? By the way, thanks for joining me. Okay, yin. March 2021. Let's see what the cards want to say about what is clear to you. There's one that wanted to come out. Let's start with that. Nine of Cups, Nine of Cups. Followed by 10 of Pentacles. Sweet. Followed by 2 of Pentacles. That is amazing. All right. Well, with the 10 of Pentacles sitting here, that's sticking out to me as being the thing that wants to be clear to you. If you have just completed something, if you have just come to the end of some process, or some, let's put it this way, even some understanding. I mean, in 2021, we have a chance to both reflect on what happened in 2020 and also to pull out of what happened with us and our process with it, the dynamic of each of us individually with the 2020 debacle, and pull out, well, what happened? How did we process it? How did we change? Have we grasped it? Have we gained anything? Have we evolved in any way that is important to stay with no matter what the external circumstances are? So it's pulling me towards believing that this is what wants to be clear. And that clarity does not have to include clinging. It does not have to include being attached to some kind of success or achievement that you have experienced and done for yourself. You can carry it. It's part of you now. It's woven into the fabric of your being. And yet you do not have to dwell on it. Just know it's there, that have a clear window in your soul that looks straight into the heart of the 10 of Pentacles experience. And you want to take something out of this that equals somehow it looks to me like your emotions were connected to that completion. And there you are. I mean, the only thing left to experience in a cycle like any of the suits, when you get to the 9, the only thing that remains is to walk into the winner's circle when you get to the 10. That means that by the time you get to the 9, you have everything. You've gone through everything. And standing there and contemplating for a moment from the wings, because when you walk into the 10, you're going to walk on stage right into the center of your completion. But when you're one step before that, you have a chance to reflect. And if love was part of this earthly achievement, if some kind of emotional transformation happened along with the completion, then jump on that bandwagon. Because really, that's your springboard into new territory. Your springboard into the next step. Everything continues to grow, and perhaps this is nothing more or nothing less than the completion of the one branch on the tree that grew out and got to a balance in its length and proportions with the root system of the tree. It can be your branch. It can be your roots of system of your tree. And that, even though if it's nothing more than that, that's fine. However, things keep moving. And in order to maximize the impact it's feeling to me of having done that completion and gotten to, let's say, growing that branch and finding the balance within that, take matters of the heart along with. Because here you go into a new adventure. Be the hero on the hero's journey who, when confronted with the dynamics of duality in the twos, that is the call to go on a new adventure, to go on a new journey. And with you, you're going to have achieved some balance through your experience. And to be immediately asked to balance the coins here is fair. It's fair game. But it's also something in your groundedness, something in your solidness, your stolidity, something in your Capricorn, Earth, Yin sign. Very cool. Jan, I think it's only fair that we walk into your world for a minute and see where you stand with this clarity mode. What a nice thing to have as an umbrella over you. The idea of that really March is a month to march into clarity, just clarity, that much. How much does that equal in the rest of your experience? It's for you to answer, it's for you to ask, but for me, clarity lends itself to so much more, so much more. Yang, we're going to begin with the Hermit. Oh boy. Then we're going to have the Emperor. And then we're going to have the Knight of Cups. So let's start with the Knight of Cups, even though he's going to be the solution to whatever's going on for you in your whole system, you know, the whole holistic attitude towards your approach to your life in March. I want to point out that he's holding out the cup to the Emperor. So he's abdicating his abilities a bit and his knowledge and wisdom a bit in favor of what the Emperor might bring to his table. And I mean, theoretically, it could be a connection if there's a partnership here. It could be a connection between the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups. The combination of those two in a symmetry and a synchronicity could bring quite a bit of fulfillment in emotions and completeness in love. But if it's a mundane matter, if it's something that wants to be grounded, you want to connect with the divine and what the divine's manifestation on the planet Earth. There's your guy. There's your dude. There's a lot of male energy here. There's a divine masculine energy. There's a lot of in the yang line, which is appropriate. So it's implying that you're pretty well developed in a balance between your yin and your yang, your internal yin and your internal yang, so that you, from that platform, are given the go-ahead to feature your yang energy in March. Make the bold steps forward with confidence, and the kind of confidence that's represented by the king. And even though the knight is holding the cup out to the emperor and in somewhat of a relinquishing the wish to control to the emperor, it doesn't mean that he's giving up his self, his authentic self, his own true self. What it means is that his intention when he rides forward is to take what the emperor has to say, that Aries forward moving energy, and take that with him in his, as part of his armor, as part of his accoutrements that go with him on his steed forward. So taking the emotional connection that he already contains and embodies, adding the masterful leadership mode of the emperor, and then what? Well, I have a feeling that the mystery in this line is being illuminated by the hermit, because the hermit is actually walking this way. He's walking backwards. Why? Not to walk backwards to prove that he can do it, but rather to illuminate the path downstream. He's moving upstream, but he's illuminating downstream, so that everything that is worthwhile, meaning the things that matter to the forward motion in your evolution, can see the light of his lantern and follow that path of light into the new territory. And in this case, he's also walking towards the emperor. So the cup of the Knight of Cups is being offered to the emperor, or held out to the emperor so the emperor can fill that empty cup. The hermit is illuminating the pathway to the emperor. So if anything, Yang, I would say that a nice crystallization for the energy in this line is take a look at your leadership skills. Take a look at your management skills, if that's where your path in life is, and allow them to manifest in new ways during the month of March. Be ready for being influenced not only by the leadership qualities of the emperor, but by the spiritual guidance that's being illuminated by the hermit. So the hermit is, yes, in fact, illuminating the path behind. And what you are the one who, your spirit is the one who marches forward down that lighted path. But what else comes with you? That's the spiritual component of things that are surrounding you right now, of which you are not yet aware. So they are mysterious at this point, but you can find out what exactly they want for you. That's Yang. The situation is the sun. Yahoo, right? Your obstacle is judgment. Your asset is justice. Your potential outcome, the Hanged Man. Okay. Well, if we start with the outcome, let's start with that, because you want to get clarity. This is the guy that if you take him with you in your dance through the month of March, he will give you clarity, because he'll remind you that you can take a break. You can do the equivalent of stopping the action, stopping the forward motion, and hanging yourself upside down by your heels and contemplating. So stop. Stop when you get the undeniable message that stopping is appropriate and necessary at this point. There is no need for anxiety, worry, stress, ever. We do it, but we don't need to. And the antidote for times of those qualities is the Hanged Man. So it's a nice outcome. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, there's this is benevolence to the max here. This reading has been such a kind and reinforcing type of energy reading for me to give you, Capricorns, for March. And shining over it all is the sun. But the sun, let's pare it down a little bit and draw some distinctions. The sun is implying, like if you walk into the shoes and try and be the sun for the moment, you're going to find yourself in a realm where everyone that receives the radiation of your output of energy is equal. That means also that yourself is equal. Equal equals equal. A complete symmetry. And in yourself, that means you accept your nature, be it the animal side of your nature or the angelic side of your nature, and all in between, everything. So, yeah, taking time and going and lying on the beach, letting the sun bathe you, that's cool. But also taking the mantle of that kind of inner strength and inner unfettered, unconditional love, and being it, radiating it, and experiencing it. Giving freely. Within those worlds, those worlds are the brackets on the outside. of your archetypal forces. If it's an obstacle for you, maybe there's some kind of an idea that you have in your head that is telling you that you've done enough, you've accomplished enough, you don't need to change that much in order to evolve. Consider that in light of that could be standing in your way. And what I mean by that is by having that approach and that attitude within you, you keep yourself from a truly transcendent experience that when you change the paradigm and take your earthly achievements and successes and victories and move the lens a little bit into including the celestial, the kind of thing that's being asked for is more towards the heavenly part of you than it is towards the earthly part of you. Does that make sense? In other words, your rebirth into new versions of yourself up until now can be new versions of yourself in a new way. So it's a gentle thing, though, because this is kind of what the tower does, but the tower blows you out, inescapable, boom, you're blown out into space and it's a do or die. This is going, I believe in you. And because I believe in you, I know that you have what it takes to make this kind of transformation in your personal alchemy without getting blown out of the tower. But you must still be on that level. And it's merely remaining open, being flexible, and allowing a partnership between the mundane and the divine. Right? And when you got the asset, you've got the perfect partner to achieve any kinds of difficulties you might encounter as you seek to come to the understanding of transformation. I mean, all these details up here, they can apply because this is a general reading. We're not talking about a specific issue with any of you. They can apply to every circumstance because it's all energy. It's energy that can serve you here and it can serve you there just as well. So because of that, your perfect partner, that she is radiating her influence over this spiritual biosphere and saying, I am here for you specifically. Take not advantage of, but take the opportunity of her outstretching that hand to you, and she's giving it. You might as well use it. And why am I saying that? Because justice will definitely be able to assist in your understanding of the connections between the mundane and the divine. How the dark side is attached to the light side. I mean, if we're whole beings, our dark side is in there and must be for the balance. But she's the one, because of the scales and the scales are being attached by the horizontal rod, if you will. They're both connected to the two scales, both connected to each other, but kept separate from each other. Both are important. Balance is still balance, but they need to be regarded and worked with in a specific fashion. And I think that asset, you could not ask for a better partner in this operation. And, you know, she's at a nice, than her, and she's at a nice hinge point. The hinge point being between Judgment and the Hangman, because both of those can lend themselves to, like, well, scratching your head, what do I do with this? Well, hit up Justice. She will help. She wants to help. That's it, Capricorn, Yin and Yang. I am so glad you chose to join me. I will be back in March. I will be back at the end of March for April, in a month. Thanks again. Be well until next time. Be safe. Love you all. Bye for now.